red-white cycling. This gained a new card from the Historic Anthology that's super reasonable. Flameblade Adept. Whenever you cycle or discard a card, it gets 1 attack until end of turn, and it has Menace as well. In Standard, obviously you have Flourishing Fox, and gaining a second good 1-mana threat is very, very good. So you have 2 early things to pressure with. You have this suite of 3 things here that are good. One thing I'd like to address to start is someone's already asking about Hollowed One. We probably want to make a command in chat for this mods, but every card you put in the cycling deck that does not cycle for 1 mana comes at a very real cost. The earliest you can put Hollowed One into play in Historic is turn 3 in an absolute best case scenario. And a 4/4 on turn 3 isn't good in Historic, chat. Like, sure, sometimes you're going to high roll and you're going to put 16 power into play on turn 3, but that's very much the exception and not the rule. The reason why Hollowed One was a good card in Modern was because of Street Wraith and Faithless Looting and Goblin Lore and Burning Inquiry. So those cards are the reason why that card was good in Modern. We don't have any of those things here. It's not good in Historic, in my opinion. Now, Cast Out is a great card that we gain here, and it's one of the reasons why we're giving up Lurrus as a companion. So, Cast Out, 1-mana cyclers, so 1-mana cyclers are good, obviously, with this archetype. Being able to exile target thing that's also a 1-mana cycler is very powerful. Chandra does not have direct synergy with anything we're doing, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Chat, come here. Chat, come here. Shh, I'm gonna whisper in here. This is the deck building secret that the MPL does not want you to know. When you put more good cards in your deck, you will win more games of Magic. So, the reason why we are playing Chandra is because she's a good Magic the Gathering card. So, this makes mana, deals damage to your opponent, kills things randomly, has an emblem that says you win the game. Now, another thing that Chandra allows us to do, which is sweet, in conjunction with Cast Out 2 here, is you'll note that we've got 4 Wrath of God in our sideboard. So what this deck is looking to do post-board is against creature decks like Gruul and Mono Red and Elves and anything playing creatures, we're going to board in 4 Wrath of God, 2 Chandra, 3 Pyromancer, 2 Deckinstone, and we're going to pull up. We're going to board into a control deck, basically, in the creature matchups. Because in the creature matchups, the way Zenith Flare plays out, you just have to stay alive while cycling, and then eventually you kill them. And sometimes you're going to win with Chandra 2, or sometimes you'll still play Fox on 1, or like Valiant Rescuer will go off. But in general, being able to pull up against the creature decks, I think is a very, very good plan post-board. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it feels. Shame there isn't a red-white cycling dual land. I mean, we've got 8 1-mana cycling lands, so we would probably play a 2-mana red-white cycling land, but I'm actually not sure how many. One of the things that this deck actually benefits from a lot in this format is the most played graveyard hate in Historic is Grafdigger's Cage, which doesn't impact our copies of Zenith Flare. So things like Rest in Peace and Leyline of the Void see some play, but they don't see nearly as much as Cage. You can always find the deck list that I ended on at the end of the stream by checking out the last like 3 or 4 minutes of a video. I always do a wrap-up segment at the end. Elspeth's Nightmare is very good against us. I agree with that. Yeah, Elspeth's Nightmare doesn't see nearly as much play in this format, which is nice. Not some play, but not nearly as much. This card, by the way, chat, in case for people that haven't played with Flameblade Adept, it's a Jackal, and Jackals are very scary, so we get to attack into Mama Thalia here. Jackal Pup don't care, chat. Jackal Pup just attack. Attack, attack, attack. Jackal Pup don't care at all. Man, that was a good draw. Actually, I should probably cycle the lands here before I cycle the actual... I'm not used to my land cycling for one. Man! Are we playing that? I think we're playing that. Man, it's close, though. I'm gonna offer the trade here, because if these trade, it means my opponent doesn't get to play Great Henge next turn. So, another thing that I didn't mention in the deck tech, they can't from Dahlia. They can play Fabled Passage, yeah. So, something that's worth noting in the deck, something that's worth noting in this deck versus the standard deck is this build that I'm playing today is just red-white. And in standard, you play 3 or even 4 colors. And in historic, we don't do that. And a big part of why we don't do that in historic is due to the fact that it actually costs you something to splash colors in historic. In standard, when you splash a color, you're just replacing basics with pathways. In historic, we have so many good dual lands that it actually comes at a cost. You have to replace dual lands, red-white dual lands, with other dual lands. So there's actually a mana-based consistency that we give up in this format. I think I'm going to offer this trade here. I think I give up the token on their turn to push 2 more points of damage here. It's close, though. If we hit an untapped land, I get a token on their turn still. Never lucky. It's fine. We're not anywhere near dying. They're not an Embercleave deck. Is this a matchup where we pull up? Yeah, I think so. I think all the creature decks we pull up against, especially on the draw. Something you can do too with a deck like this, especially in an open decklist tournament where your opponent knows you could be pulling up, is if you pull up for game 2, you can change back for game 3 if you decide that it's more beneficial for you to be able to change back. That's a good rule of thumb from Precipic there. Ask yourself the question, is Flameblade good here? And if the answer is no, then pull up. Is that a good draw, chat? If so, why? Please explain. Let me know in chat how we feel about this draw. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to ride my bike. Do 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 do. Doesn't cycle 0 out of 10. That's just the facts, chat. It does not cycle. All right, double Abyss you. For the Magic Zoomers at home, Abyss is a global enchantment that makes players sacrifice creatures. And if you don't know what a global enchantment is because you're a Magic Zoomer, that's too bad. World enchantment. Chat, we called them global enchantments growing up. All right, I'm gonna look up the word global. I'm pretty sure relating to the whole world. World enchantment, global enchantment. Come on now. Come on now. Funk. All right, so So, Wraths, Pyromancers, Chandras, Deccan Stones. Adept comes out. What's our full plan here? Probably the Drannith Stingers, I imagine. Footfall Crater's probably the next worst. It might be like one more. One go for blood. We might have one too many cards in the board for this plan. We'll see. One of the things that's really sweet, so in the standard build of this deck, you can't justify cutting that many cycling cards, but this deck gets to play 8 1-mana cycling lands, which is sick. There's an updated link for you, Bob. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't realize the sellout command existed. Yeah, it seems great. So, this draw right here is why I cycled at sorcery speed before I played my card for the turn. Because if we drew a tapped land, we wanted to play it so we can use our untapped land to play a 3-drop next turn. Did we play MBD? What's MBD stand for, Bob? Oh, Mono Black Devotion. We have not played Devotion with the latest card drop yet, no. Wait. Deccan Stone are the HA cards on the sideboard. Oh, that's great. That's just rude. Maybe I'm supposed to save the cast out to exile this. Is Pyromancer good against creatures? I need more data, right? I just get Chandra going here, right?
When people start screaming, I know them. Yup, you're going down.
Bobby! Thank you for the absurd tip. I appreciate you. For historic Black Devotion, sounds good, Bob. Oh, if I would have done mana, I could have cycled and killed their dude. Oh, that's so true. Oh, did we hit Mythic? Are we accidentally a Mythic gamer? Look at that. Look at our memes, chat. Our memes put us into Mythic. It's exciting. Bicycle race, bicycle race, do 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 do. Shout out to Precipic in chat for doing some of the legwork, tuning this deck. I had some rough ideas and he took them and ran. Chandra 4. Being put more good cards in your deck innovation from Precipic. Bob, I think there's a chance I could stretch myself to do 5 decks today, but there's also a chance that I might not, and we might do Black Devotion next week. You perfect, you rock. Appreciate you. If you want a particular day next week to catch it on, let me know and we can schedule it. Man, chat, we've been in the queue for 90 seconds? What a dead game. You hit Mythic and you run out of opponents? They're all scared. They're all scared, chat. Or none of them can log in because Magic Arena is Magic Arena. One of the two. They're either all terrified or Magic Arena is mostly non-functional. Could go either way, really. I feel like I'm mulligan this. Get how many shots to land? I get 2 draws and a cycle. Alright, I'm gonna Hypergeo this. Around 25 lands total. Got 3 shots. We're 84.5% to hit a land on turn 2 here. I don't know if this hand's good enough even if it hits a land. I guess it's got Fox. This hand, like, draws a white source naturally in its 2 draws. So 0%, something like that. We are the 15% chat. 15% gamers. That's fine. They're playing mono black control. We have time to brick here for a turn. I'm gonna cycle this right away to play around Heartless Act. They could have push or Bloodchief Thirst here, obviously, but I'm gonna play around what we can play around. Cardboard Live gives stats on draws if you mouse over the library. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. The Bant Mutate deck got us close. It won the last couple. We were floating in Diamond 1 all morning. This won its first match to push us.
best fire starter there is. Whoa, that's nasty.
I think it was worth killing the Murderous Rider there because it's gaining them life, which makes it a little bit harder to burn them out with this long term. Hey, DMA, thanks for the Court of Ear. Glad you're going to be playing in Hoots. The opponent likely playing Ugin, almost assuredly. Thankfully, we're playing an aggressive deck that, because of Zenith Flare, isn't just dead to a card like Ugin, which is sweet. Hoots, I don't remember who came up with that originally, but it's such a good acronym based on the history here.
I am out of here. You want to go home? Today's my lucky day.
And for people who are new to the channel and aren't familiar with the history, this is why Hoots is a good name. Gosh, the boys are tiny in this picture. I'm an old man, chat. Oh man. It looks like our Chandra died while I was looking at photos. It's unfortunate. My sequencing was wrong here. I should have just played Flameblade Adept and passed, leaving 4 mana up, because they have an opportunity to Thought Seize my Zenith Flare now, which isn't ideal. Mageologist, thanks for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Howdy, Silver Oak. Ever see Return of Owling Mine in Modern? Nah. Modern's very different than when we did that. It wasn't good when we played it then, and it's much worse now. Yes, yeah, that's exactly right, Puddle Jumper. We wore the owl costume to a tournament. Listen. All the internet will remember is that I won the first and only match I won in that tournament. I won, excuse me? Okay, so let's do this the most amount of times. Oh, this is sacrifice a non-land permanent. You can't sack lands either. Okay, so we're just dead, right? That's really unfortunate. Okay, so we're dead. I was thinking we could sack lands and then maybe still kill them with Zenith Flare. Yeah, opponent has their own Zenith Flare. That wasn't terrible considering we missed our second land drop on turn 2 that game. We got the Drannith Healers, bringing the sails, and a couple of Chandras here. I don't know if I want Forsake the Worldly or not. Augustus, thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. 3 mana's a lot. I think just a couple of Shredded Sails probably fine. Torment of Hailfire is an EDH staple. It's the best fireball in the game. It's a pretty good fireball, to be fair. There is a YouTube video with me in an owl costume. It's a jackal. It's a jackal. Is it a jackal? It's a jackal. It's a jackal. I can get him with the jackal. Very scary, mean jackal, chat. There's a lot of hype pumped into this jackal. I think we Valiant Rescuer on 2. Usually these decks play 4 mana sweepers, so playing this out means we should get a hit in. Look at the way they massacred my boy, chat. He was just an innocent little pup. And look at what they did to him. We need to recode the old Magic Battlegrounds game. Man, I played the crap out of that game growing up. We actually, I believe there's videos of me playing that on stream at some point. Pretty sure we did that one on stream. Okay, this is like actually a pretty okay draw as we go along here. Gosh, honestly, if they pass again, it might be right to just, like, castle and make a token, rather than playing this out. Well, now that decision is easy. Pretty sure we're cycling this. Nah, our version of restocking our hand puddle jumper is just killing them with Zenith Flare. And then rather than drawing a card that that draws cards, just like bonk them with this. Chandra generates card advantage a little bit, in a way, in a roundabout way. Yeah, like we're like one good string of cyclers into a second Zenith Flare away from lethal in this game. Like we've flooded a ton, and we're still playing a game of Magic here, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess we haven't flooded a ton. We have 9 lands and 41 cards. A little bit above average. Got him, Jim. He's dead. Yeah, we've gotten unfortunate. This game's not even over yet, right? Like, if they attack, I'm gonna make a token and quad block. I want to respond to your Hollow One question with the question. Is putting a 4/4 into play on turn 3 good and historic? Is that powerful? When your opponent puts a 4/4 into play on turn 3 in historic, do you go, man, that was strong? If it's questing beast, sure. I guess here's a better way to put it. Is getting a 4/4 on turn 3 enough of a payoff that you would warp your deck around getting that as a payoff? That's the question you want to ask yourself. Is getting a 4/4 good enough that you like, yeah, I'm going to warp my deck around getting a 4/4? And I know, like, at a glance, it might not seem like much of a warp, but every card you put in this deck that doesn't cycle for 1 mana comes at a real cost. I mean, it doesn't really matter what the opponent's doing. The fact that we haven't drawn spells is the reason why we're behind in this game. It ain't over yet, but definitely we're pretty dead here. I don't know that I agree with that. We're like a bunch of cycles into a couple Zenith Flares away from being fine. We did some with Mutate and some with this. As far as getting to Mythic is concerned. My Zenith Flare's at 9. Obviously, they could draw a Torment of Hailfire before we do that, but, you know. We're gonna give it the old college try. Dead Jim, you got him. The only reason more people don't play Goblins in Historic is because Historic is largely casual for most people, and it requires a bunch of very specific wildcard crafts that are only usable in that deck. I think you would see a lot more Goblins on the ladder if Magic Arena was cheaper to play. The cost of Arena keeps there more diversity in the format. If they go to kill one of my things before damage here, I'm going to Zenith Flare their Rider. That's true in paper also. It's a little bit less true in paper because of the secondary market aspect of the economy. Like, generally speaking, your decks are more portable in economies like paper and Magic Online, speaking from experience. There's more risk associated with crafting a deck and then not enjoying it, or that deck getting banned or changed on Magic Arena's economy. Well, so while we want to save the flares for the face to a degree, these Murderous Riders also make it harder for the flares to kill them. So, like, it's a little bit of give and take. You gotta look at it as if I'm using this flare on a the creature that I'm using this flare on is going to net me damage basically. Opponent digging desperately for their copy of their card that kills us. They probably only have one or two of them. While we pedal our bike digging for a second Zenith Flare. Oh, they found it? Looks like they found it. They're counting mana. Nah, we got pretty exceptionally lucky to lose this. We stumbled and died in the first one, and then this game we drew a ton of lands in a row. We would have had a little bit more. Like if we would have had the third Zenith Flare would have been real good. We would have been able to sequence differently. So, stuff happens. I mean, the shakeup events, historically speaking, have never been used to dictate bans in the actual format. They're just different things to keep players engaged with Magic Arena. So I wouldn't expect the I wouldn't expect them to roll over into the actual format. Yeah, they are also, the shakeup events are exclusively best of one, which, just for the record, the shakeup events being best of one is a good thing. Like, I know it probably doesn't seem like it if you sit here and watch on Twitch, but the very fact that you're watching Magic on Twitch means you're more invested in Magic than most people on average, and a majority of the games played on Magic Arena are best of one games. Best of three gamers are definitely the exception, not the rule. I think the best of one becoming more popular will just happen even more so once what's it called with mobile happening. Espada, thanks for the follow, by the way, if you're still here. I think I missed that one while we were riding our bike. I play best of one, so I don't have wild cards for sideboard. Yeah, that's a real thing too, card availability. Not gonna lie, I like Glass Cannon combo decks and best of one to teach people why they should like sideboards. Yep, that's a good way to do it. Watching you on my S-Box while downloading games. Any suggestions for games? I think most of the stuff I've been doing recently is PlayStation exclusive stuff. I'm trying to think, what's a good cross-platform game I've touched recently? Now, I don't think Horizon Zero Dawn's on Xbox. It's on PC now. I feel like I'd be surprised if PlayStation ported something like Horizon Zero Dawn to Xbox. Like, porting to Windows for PC gamers doesn't seem like that big of a stretch, but porting it to the competitor's console seems like a lot more to ask. Man, did the servers finally fully die? Are they dead? Are they dead and gone yet? We have no more matchmaking? Hey, the kid. Good afternoon. Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Todd. Yeah, Ratchet and Clank's been a blast. Do you think someone forgot to feed the hamster that powers the server? Should we send someone to check up on that? Anybody live near Seattle and can go check on the server hamsters? Midnight Slayer, thanks for hooking the Prime back up again. I appreciate the 5 months. Welcome back. Oh, speaking of Game Pass, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice was a game I played on Xbox Game Pass. That's on the Xbox. It's a good game. Give me 25. Let me check in on them. All right. It says waiting for opponent, but the cancel button has gone away. We'll shoot. I guess this is what I get for bragging about not having connection issues earlier, huh? I deserve this. Oh, we got a live one. This is about to say draw, isn't it? Arrow, thanks for the follow. You fucking tease, Magic Arena. We waited 2 minutes, we saw the draw screen. Arena Work Challenge 2021. Thanks for 17 months, Wuggles. I mean, we've been having like some slight hiccups, but like, it's mostly been working. I was laid off a few weeks back and have since increased my intake of your content, but I was offered a job earlier today, so I thought I would celebrate by spreading some of the love to one of my favorite channels. Hey, congrats on your new gig, Kid Martian. Alright, I'm gonna relog one more time. And see if that does it for us. I think Lightning Helix would be fine for Historic. I think two mana versus 3 is a big deal there. Helix is a sweet control card. I'd be down for some Lightning Helix. We're gonna get Stubborn Denial eventually. Remember, all the cards that are Pioneer legal will eventually be in Historic. Informality, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. If the servers die today, Flight Forward, we'll play this again next week for sure. No extra donation. I always play things for at least 90 minutes, so. Sweet, we got one. Sick. Fox on 1. Hopefully Arena's gonna keep working, but if Arena full-on dies, I think I'll probably do a Runeterra Gauntlet. I think I'm playing in one of their tournaments tomorrow. Huh? So with this draw, I think I actually play a tapped castle and attack for 2, and the next turn I go Fox, land, cycle. Is he gonna get stepped on now? Riddle. There's a gauntlet. A gauntlet is a pseudo tournament mode in Runeterra. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit off stream and just conceding the matchups that suck. Their game, like, Runeterra has good core gameplay. It's just their current, the best way I could describe Runeterra's current format is it's like playing Modern without sideboards. So, like, there's some games that are really fun, but there's other games that just suck and just really aren't interesting. But, like, the good is good and the bad is really bad. Yeah, Puddle, if Arena keeps being poop, we'll do Merfolk next Friday. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully they're gonna get their act together. Yeah, exactly. And Runeterra is a new game, so like they don't have non-rotating formats that you can play when their main constructed format is mediocre. Well, I think they're just comparing it precipic to the fact that like when Runeterra's main format isn't great, you can't escape it. Not that the play patterns are like standard, I don't think. Yeah, we talked about Luris in the deck opener. You can check out the intro later if you want extra insight into why we decided not to play that. We just keep digging for the land here. Nice. So, if you want specifically Magic drafting, you're probably not going to be happy with the limited formats in most other games. Although, Mythgard that I've played a bit of, they support both drafting against the AI and 8-player pod drafting. And in fact, you could host your own Mythgard draft tournaments in client for free and have your friends join with a code, which is sweet. Nah, it's not Precipic. It's just not the same. It's like, it's okay, but it's not the same as drafting a table. It's like as close to pod drafting as you can get without waiting for it, but it's not the same as sitting at a table and everybody passing packs around. Have you tried it with their latest couple of card expansions, Black Sheep? I definitely fell off of Mythgard a bit when they only had one set, but they're 2 additional sets now. They're 3 sets in, added a lot of variety to things. Hey, Skirt, good to have you back. Glad to hear you're going to be playing in the Open on the 21st. I don't really know what this opponent is doing. They're rank 121, though. And boarding in Chandras and a couple of shredded sails. One of the nice things about playing a deck like what we're playing is if you're not really sure what your opponent is doing, you can just linear them. Yeah, Hex did drafting like Magic did. Feels like a stomp, right? Huh? So I think because they're a red aggro deck, or a red control deck, I'm actually gonna go ahead and not play out Valiant Rescuer here, and I just want to pump this Flourishing Fox out of Storm's Wrath range if possible. Oh, you know what? I messed up here. I should have played this land on white, or this land on white, because if they bolt this in response to gaining, I want to be able to cycle again. So that was a small sequencing error on my part there. We didn't get punished for it. Yeah, a lot of gameplay preferences are pretty subjective, Ty Glorious. And like, to its benefit and its downfall a little bit, Mythgard's pretty unique compared to a lot of other card games. Like, Mythgard, because it plays to units on a board, it's more similar to chess than to Magic, I think. Or more similar to something like Duelist. 9U on turn 3 is pretty good. Yeah, like I said, so like, starts like that really show why Flame Jackal is so, Jackal Pup's so good in this deck. Like, your best aggressive draws with this deck in Standard always involve 2 Foxes. So like, having a second Pseudo Fox in the Jackal is super good. Strange Journey, thank you for the quarter of a year, welcome back. Let's see, we won that match quickly. Let's see if we could get another one. Yeah, 2 in a row. We'll call it a comeback. All right, so this hand, we did a Hyper Geo earlier, and this hand has 4 looks on the draw. This hand has 4 looks on the draw to find a second land. We have 2 draw steps and 2 cycles, so we are 92% to hit our second land on turn 2 with this hand, so we're gonna keep it. Bicycle race, bicycle race. Nah, I think there's value, press a pick, and just like having a handful of cyclers to get going, so it makes your Zenith Flares just a lot better. Do I play around Anger and just double cycle here? I think I play around Anger and just double cycle. I just smack him for 3. That's unfortunate. Do you ever play Drannith as a creature? Sometimes. It depends. You cycle it more often than not. Hey, in the read, thanks for the 19 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Huh? With this in play, there's less incentive to play around a sweeper. Obviously, Extinction Event makes us sad here. But getting a second puppy for next turn. Is pretty good. Demonic Pact, sure. Alright, so this is about to gain them 4 back and kill one of our pumpers. If there's one thing you'll learn very quickly about Magic players, it's that Magic players think everything is Splinter Twin.
Call time to its knees, and away you go.
Alright, so I think we Chandra plus double cycle, right? Is the play? Okay, yep.
Let's play a little game.
So how do they win? They donate Demonic Pact to us. You mean Fox plus Foxes and Splinter? That's correct. Okay, so with that reset, I think we just try and pedal our bike. I think we just try and pedal our bike to victory, right? Like, I could interact here, but I kind of just want to draw a bunch of cards, right? Do I play a Valiant Rescuer? I think the answer is no. I think we just hop on our bike. There's 2 non-cycling cards in my bin, so we're dealing 11 at the moment. Okay, they're drawing because they computed that they still die to Flare even if they gain life, which is smart.
Oh, so many painful memories.
Alright, are we dead now? I think we're dead now. Think Pact of Negation does it. Yeah, we actually just die next turn, right? So I get double pact us. Yeah, it could have been wrong. So a turn worth discussing there is, I know it felt kind of bad, but if you look back at that game, the turn I ran my Chandra into Jawari Disruption, my opponent intentionally held up 2 mana as opposed to playing my 1-drop out, so I probably should have just cycled that turn instead of running my Planeswalker into a counterspell. I think the turn I played the Chandra, I lost that game. If I hop on my bike that turn instead of playing Chandra, we probably win. Anecdotally, if we hop on our bike that turn, we would have drawn Zenith Flare, and they wouldn't have drawn it from us, but even without that anecdote, I think it's probably right to just hop on the bike in that instance. Attack with Wild Nakano. Arch Nemesis and Christophs, thanks for the follows. Welcome. Good afternoon. Oh, you know what? Because of this as it being a card in their deck, I should prioritize cycling my creatures. Alright, so they're going to Tibalt us here and exile the Flourishing Fox, but that's fine. Oh, they don't have an untapped land. That's good for us. Untapped land. Untapped land. Well, they're jumping with the Fae of Wishes. That's why they played it, right? I like Fae of Wishes and innovation in the deck. This gets all of their combo pieces. It gets Release the Winds. It gets Harmless Offering. It gets Demonic Pact. Seems like a sweet tool for their archetype. And then I think I'm just riding my bike here again. I don't think I want to play another Fox out. It could be right to play Fox and then cycle. If I'm expecting them to flip Valky next turn, I should probably do this, right? And then I guess the question becomes, do I play this tap? I think I do, because if they flip Valky, I get to draw the Valiant Rescuer back to my hand, then I can pay 2 to cycle it at their end of turn. Yeah, the opponent's playing like a double combo deck. They're playing Release the Winds with both Valky and Demonic Pact. Yeah, the Fae of Wishes seems like an excellent innovation. Is 4 Chandra the right number, Precipic? Is this one too many Chandras? Is there a chance this is one too many Chandras? I felt like we had one too many cards in the creature matchup. An hour, both my dad and wife will be fully vaccinated, and my mom and I have had our first shots. Thanks for keeping me company during the pandemic. That's awesome, Kismet. Here's hoping that the Biden admin's claim that all adults will be eligible to be able to get it by May 1st comes through. Spring-loaded Cobra, good afternoon. Thanks for the follow. What are the combo cards again? Harmless Offering and Demonic Pact. Yeah, I think so, Precipic. Like, it's not like Wrath of God, where you need her right on 4 either, right? Yeah, some states are doing it before then too. A number of states are opening it up starting early in April for everybody. Yeah, I seem to be running hot today as far as getting arena matches to fire goes. It's a jackal. Is it a jackal? It's a jackal. They keep taking my 2-mana cycler. It's just like, all right, sure. Well, I guess in this instance, I actually want to play a Drannith Stinger here. And hop on my bike with it. What is the jackal reference from? I do it quite often, but I genuinely don't recall at this point. Is it Family Guy? It's Family Guy. Okay. Sounds about right. Come on, untapped land. I think if we hit the untapped land, we're playing a cast out. Shit. Ian. Do we just go Rescuer cycle? I'll start by attacking. It's actually probably Rescuer tap land. I think it's Rescuer tap land. Oh, you know, I guess if they're shooting this instead of drawing or discarding, that's fine for me too. We'll discard these two if they make us discard. Huh? Am I still playing cast out? We have a gain 8 sitting on the board. I feel like I'm supposed to cycle this now. Could go either way on this. Yeah, they're playing Release the Winds in their deck. It's the idea behind Chandra the Cycling deck. She's a good Magic card. Just very, very flexible, has an ultimate that wins the game, making mana is relevant when you're cycling through your deck. She kind of draws cards. She acts as a piece of spot removal in a pinch. Yeah, Demonic Pact's was very impressive in the Doom Foretold deck we played the other day. Just like good card advantage interaction life game. Yeah, so like we die next turn, they make us discard, then they kill us.
Yup, you're going down.
Yeah, we're dead. We had 3 cast outs and 2 Forsake the Worldlies there. I think 3 Chandra or 4 Chandra. The 75 is too many. I'm gonna cut the last one for something else. Yeah, the Grixis, I really love Fae of Wishes in their deck. That the archetype really needs some way to find the right of the 2 pieces that they could get for their deck, and Fae seems really strong at being able to do that. You want something else for control? Ooh, yeah, that could be true. They could just be on actual 0 main deck Harmless Offering. I actually like that idea a lot. It seems sweet. What are cards we can play for control? And in Pathways and Play Negate. So again, for people that weren't here earlier, this isn't standard. You don't just get to add Pathways to your deck for free in Historic. In order to add other dual lands to my deck, I have to cut red-white dual lands. So in standard, adding a 3rd color is free because you're replacing basics with Pathways. It comes at a very minimal cost. In Historic, where we have access to better mana for 2-color decks, you're making your 2-color mana base worse to add a 3rd color. I actually really like where Historic and Pioneer are at in general with their mana, because in both Standard and Modern, mana is too free in terms of what colors you want to be playing. And here, there's a real consideration and give and take to what consistency you're going to have in terms of risk to reward. In Standard, your 2-color mana bases suck. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the second batch of Zendikar creature lands for sure. What's the difference between mana bases in Historic and Pioneer currently? Not much. Creature lands, I think. I think the dual color creature lands, Shambling Vent and Friends. The Triome solves it some, doesn't it? It does not. You want to put more tap lands in my deck? Cycling for 3 versus cycling for 1 is a big deal. Ooh, Mana Confluence is a good one. Yeah, Mana Confluence is a card that sees some play in Pioneer. Yeah, I agree, Violet Journey. Building mana bases in Modern is borderline boring. But not even borderline, it is boring. You're just like, alright, this is the objectively correct thing to do it. That's true, we have Onslaught Cycle lands that they don't. Have they announced what land cycles are coming later this year? They've not, Leroy. We do not know, we are in the dark. Wizards is not very good at communicating with their player base. It's one of their biggest failings as a company. Why were creature lands called man lands? The same reason we used to refer to the human race as mankind. Sexism. These are my 1-drops. Kappa Blocks, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel today. This is the part where they take my dog and they shove him in an oven, chat. Or they offer him up like a village pup. Just sacrifice him to their gods. Crunch. Kappa blocks. Good afternoon. Okay, this is actually a great draw. Because it lets this kill this, and then this has menace, so we attack past their 5/5 now. Actually saves us from getting beat up by this, and it pushes damage here. It's excellent. Just killed a card, Banded Legacy. Oh. I think it's right to do that. It pushes a bunch of damage to do so. Yes, I'm wearing a League Championship Series hoodie. It was sent to me by Riot Games. Shout out to Riot. Hashtag League Partner. Do I Helix their face? Or do I kill this damn cat? It's so close, Precipic. I think I'm supposed to kill the cat. I already attacked, chat. I already attacked. If I pass back and don't kill the cat, they get to just replay the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Yeah, let's just draw the third copy. Easy game. A21, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Yeah, I started that turn by attacking with this to see if they would block. Because if they just said no blocks, I would have killed them with the flare. We've had first attacks, Jeff. Yes, but what about second attacks, Jeff? This is a part where they go untapped land and then Eggdom's Awakening these two things back into play. I just like curl up in a little ball and cry. If they block with Luris, if they block with, I think they would probably block with Luris. And if they block with Luris, they go to 10, and then I would have hit them for 3. I still wouldn't have had lethal. I think attacking with this is wrong. They would have eaten it, and both their things would have lived. And then I think that's a bad bluff. I think with the removal spell in my hand, that's a bad bluff. Yeah, the life link on Luris is the reason why we couldn't attack there, for reference. Or the reason why my attack was what it was, I guess I should say. Okay, and then this attacks and lets them claim, or, oh, there's, wait, what? Excuse me? Resolves. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, chat. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. They have Eggdom's Awakening here? Supplier, sure. Come and get it, little supplier. Why Tech, good afternoon. Afternoon to everybody hanging out, by the way. We're up to almost 1,400 people in here. It's awesome to see people enjoying some Historic. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. Magic is the primary game that I play, but I also do some other turn-based strategy games, such as we were talking about Riot Games. They do the League of Legends-based card game, Legends of Runeterra. We play some Mythgard. We play some other random variety stuff. And play for Magic, we play all constructed though, so standard and historic if those are your jam. We always play 2 or 3 different decks almost every single day of the week, so I always get a lot of variety here. I've also got a YouTube channel where everything that I stream gets uploaded and archived after the fact. Great place to track down lots of great deck lists in the description of every video. If you're into historic and you think you figured out something sweet with these historic anthology cards, you should check out our upcoming Hoaglandia tournament on March 21st on MTG Melee. It's open signups. Snake Mistress, thanks for the follow. Young Vic, thanks for the 5 months of Prime. I appreciate the hookup. I am doing well, Big Joe. How's my week been? My week's been good. Do we triple block here? Yeah, probably, right? If they want to spend a removal spell on one of these, they're going to do that anyways. I've not built fish yet. We'll be building fish on stream after we finish playing Cycling. I really don't understand how we're still in this game. I feel like we should have lost a long time ago, but we're still just like chugging along here. Oh, they hadn't drawn a Croxa yet. Yeah, that helps a lot. I mean, honestly, I forgot that this was a card that they should be playing. It took them like 35 cards to find a Croxa. We're at 26, so I think we're fine. If they Croxa, we just win. That's not true. We could draw land. We have a lot of draws that kill them next turn. Is Chandra better than Lure Speed? It's not just Chandra. It's also Cast Out. Cast Out's really good. Bing bonk. Bing bonk. Bing bonk. Bing bonk. Wait, did our opponent just concede the match? That was game 1, right? I'm pretty sure that was game 1. Yeah, the person who said earlier, kill the Luris, just draw the 3rd Zenith Flare, they were in the know. They knew it was up. Yeah, maybe that was a server bug? It could have been a server bug. Yikes. Servers have been a giant blaze recently. Yeah, seems good. 3 lands is a little bit on the high end, but Fox on 1 can't go wrong. Henway, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Poor little Fox, never stood a chance yet. Is this the same opponent? It's definitely the same deck. I wasn't paying attention to usernames. Should probably pay more attention to those. Powers him up. Bagek. Howdy, howdy. Poor little pup. Poor little jackal pup. Ha. I think we're still just riding our bike here. Because, they could escape Croxa this turn. Yes, yeah, we are the 773rd ranked player on Magic Arena globally. Kind of a big deal. Tick, tick, boom, chat. Tick, tick, boom. No second red here is pretty unfortunate for them. Oh, do they have another Thoughtseize? Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my Zenith gal. Do 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 do. Alright, so Deccanstone is great. This is a Chandra matchup. This could be a Chandra. I feel this is probably a Flameblade out matchup, huh? They're a Claim the Firstborn deck. I don't know. I don't know that I want to go full control though. Do I? Maybe we play like some of these. Can I split the difference? Can I just like play like 3 Wraths? And actually, let's cut the Valiant Rescuers because they're 2 mana cyclers. Wrath is like fine. Like, Wrathing Croxa isn't what you want to do, but like it's better than getting attacked by it. Yeah, you often use Chandra's mana to cycle. Chandra is basically a removal spell, extra mana to cycle, and then eventually wins the game with an ultimate. Hey, glad to hear things are going all right for you again, Arsenix, and thanks for sending some of it this way. Good to have you around. All right, so real decision. Do we just blank all their creature removal and just hop on our bike starting on turn 1 here? I feel like that's not crazy. I feel like it's just bike from the start. Is it time to deck the halls, chat? I think so, probably. Pyro. The fact that they're on Pyromancer probably means I want 4 Wraths if we get a game 3. I like their inclusion of Archfiend's Vessel. A lot of the lists I'd seen had moved away from this card, and I think this card's very good. going on, Bob? Naps. Naps are the nectar of the gods. So on the off chance they're playing Valky, I'm going to prioritize cycling my creatures over cycling the non-creatures here first. If you're having issues logging into Magic Arena, you are not alone.
You will be a pile of ashes! If you play with fire, you're gonna get burned.
I tried to log in and it brought me here. I don't even have a Twitch. Ooh, that's kind of scary. Do they have a land? Magnus Village rates the citrus supplier. Oh, they want a guaranteed kill Chandra. Sure, that makes sense.
This was a waste of my time.
Oh, no! Alright, we're dead, right? Yikes. Yikes. Alright, so definitely want the 4 Wrath of Gods. Definitely want the 4 Wrath of Gods. Sideboard. Sideboard cards are good against cycling, chat. Especially in a game like this where, like, normally against Graveyard Hate, you use creatures and play to the board in this deck, but our creatures are very bad against their Claim the Firstborn deck. So. Oh, you know what? I should bring in the Shredded Sails to be able to tag some of that. Shredded Sails would let me force a Lantern off the board. Yeah, I think we you don't. I think it's right to not have creatures here. I think I should probably have Shredded Sails in my deck though. Oh, you know what? I should have cycled the red one, right? I need second white for Wrath of God, and I already have double red. That's a pretty big mistake. Hey, ayo. Nice, nice. Dr. Beezy. There goes the neighborhood. We get to take 2 of our spells here because Dreadhorde Arcanist is very good. We do have 2 draws to find a second copy, and we did board in 4 copies of them. Yeah, I agree, press pick. This style of effect is the one thing that I don't miss from Magic in other card games. Basically, no other card game that I've ever played puts effects like this in their game. They are wildly obnoxious game design. They remove the hidden information component of playing a card game, which is a very interesting part of playing a card game usually. And I guess I'm just using Chandra to kill Dreadhorde Arcanist here.
I know. I am hot, aren't I? Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, we're very dead here, unfortunately. I guess I could have taken 1 draw at Wrath of God. It was funny, Precipic. Someone linked a Runeterra thread on their from their subreddit, and I clicked into it, and one of the top comments with a bunch of upvotes was the comment that Runeterra, or that Fiora loses to interactive decks, which just, like, really made me chuckle. Huh? Yes, it loses to Hush, and it usually loses to Freljord. Kinda, sometimes, if they don't have Deny, depending on what Freljord it is. Yeah, there's a big difference between you choosing to give up information and you being forced to, though. Matchup should be pretty good for us. This is one where the Wrath of God and pulling up with Chandra is especially good. Irencrag Pyromancer is excellent. Huh? Main deck for Astrodon's pretty good. It is a main deck for Astrodon, yeah. What if I cycle Rescuer and then hope to draw another one? If we make this a 4/4, we can go for blood to kill this. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Frostodon is bad. I think Frostodon's a great choice in the opponent's archetype. I was just commenting that it's good here. Is Arena alive? Not fully. Yeah, no turn 4 play here for the opponent. Seems pretty unlucky. Just nothing to do with their mana. 4 cards in hand, probably all lands. Is this a spell? I think this is a spell, right? We're just passing. Just want more things in the bin for this. Oh, they had Collected Company! I can't believe it. Okay, pretty sure we're just bonking this. We don't gain life, but it is what it is. Maybe I'm supposed to play Drannith Healer here, actually, instead of this. Hey, Dougie, thank you for the 33 months. Welcome back. I think we just, like, do this and we go wide for a couple of turns. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? We're making sure the Ferocidons stay extinct, chip. When you look at the Legacy ban list Tubos and then realize that, like, Brainstorm is still legal, it's just, like, real funny. They banned Dreadhorde Arcadis because of Brainstorm. Yeah, Brainstorm's a sacred cow in that format. They ban around it. It changes power. You may change its base power to 1 plus the greatest. Okay, so I'm gonna cycle this again. Wow, that's a great draw. Okay, so we'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do these. We'll put extra one here in case they have a stomp. Then we'll take 4 and we'll Chandra kill this next turn. GH. Formats like Legacy have their ban list balanced around nostalgia, not actual power level in the format. And I think it's fine to do that. I just also think it's very funny when people try and act like their ban list isn't balanced around nostalgia and like these things are power level appropriate. Like I can appreciate the people that are like, I love casting Brainstorm and I would be sad and stop playing if they banned it. And like that's super reasonable. But like, Brainstorm's an appropriate power level and not much better than everything else is like... That's... You wanna drop the Pinger, bring in a couple of Deccan Stones for the Footfall Craters? That seems fine. Jiggly Wigglies. Thanks for the follow. You left 4 foiled Brainstorms and Days at your last apartment. Good lord. Do I even want to know the dollar amount on that? How crazy is it to block here? It gains me 4 to block. Hey, congrats, Zenith. Makes their cleave a little bit worse for me to block here too. Yes, probably saving cast out for their god. Woof. I think we've died, chat. No, we can't stop Glothus by killing one thing. They have exactly enough. And I'm at exactly 8, so I can't block here, kill this, and then Zenith Flare this. That would let us survive. Technically not dead on board, but we're on 0 outs, right? Yeah, their company was super good. We were on the draw too, right? We're on the draw and didn't have a Fox on 1. I missed a block? Did I miss a block? Did I miss a block on something? You did not? Can someone go back and check the tape? The turn they go chat. There's a lot of people in chat that are saying I didn't block it. I thought I did. I don't know. If a bunch of people in chat said I missed it, I probably missed it. No, I think the people in chat that are saying it wouldn't change much are wrong. If I would have been able to, the people that are saying it wouldn't have changed much, you're very wrong. If I was +2 life, I would have been able to block the 2/2. I would have been able to block the 2/2 that turn and go to 2. And then I would have been able to cycle to kill something, Zenith Flare to kill another, and then I would have kept my Irencrag Pyromancer alive, and it would have given me time to cast out the Clothis. usually don't punish people for making fun of me for how I pronounce things, but like, in general, just don't be a dick, chat. Like, for example, I can talk about it, I'm an adult now, but like, I had a speech impediment as a child, and like, the way in which I pronounce things occasionally is off, both due to a mix of that and how I glance at words at a glance, and like, poking shit at people for stuff like that. You don't know what's going on in their lives or why they are the way they are. Just like, don't be a dick. Thanks for the follow, Guldash and Crandolph. Good afternoon. Flare's not looking great here, but Pyromancer looking stellar. Man, they've been really good at turning Klothys into a creature. Get rid of this Dorko. Got you, Orgy. Man, we're super dead, huh? Man, that's really unfortunate. I mean, I don't think I wrath this board either. I think we hang out for a bit. Like, I can jump with the Rescuer. Wrath doesn't kill the Klothys, chat. This is indestructible. They also have a handful of cards still. That's cute. I mean, okay, so just like, for a minute, chat, I need to take a second to explain something. I feel like people aren't really getting it. We're not any more dead at the moment than I was last turn, and if anything, we're in a better spot because now they've played out their hand and my Wrath of God is better. So like, if we didn't think I was dead last turn, I'm not any more dead this turn than I was last turn. Just like for point of reference. Zen Saw, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Klothys still does what now? Excuse me, what was chat saying? What was that about Klothys? Alright, so we need to draw a couple of cyclers, chat. They have Ramanamp runes. I don't think there's anything we can really do this game. I definitely messed up the second game by missing that block for 2. Yeah, block the second game is completely different if I take the block. And that game they were a little unlucky at the end there too. Like they used every card in their hand, and then we drew a land when we needed one more 1-mana cycler. Any cycler or 2-mana cycler would have been fine too. But again, the thing you need to focus on in sets like that is like there's not a game 3 for me to get unlucky in if I just take a better play. If I just take a better play in game 2, right? And that's something I think Magic players don't focus on enough of the time. Like, you often hear your buddy come up and they'll be like, I was so unlucky in game 3, there was nothing I could do. And it's like, well, what happened to the other game that you lost, right? Because, like, you played a best of 3, and there was more to it than just that one game. I don't know if I'm sold. I'm sold on Chandra in the 75. I don't know if I'm sold on Chandra in the main deck. One thing I feel like I would be remiss to not try. Hey, thanks for the 39 months, cousin. Did I appreciate it? I feel like there's a good chance this card is reasonable in this format. And part of me wants to like do this. And like have this be my plan, because like with Flameblade Adept being another way to pump things up a little bit on top of Flourishing Fox, I feel like this could just be a good way to punk people in certain spots. I wouldn't mind that. Chandra felt good, but the number of copies of her also felt clunky. One of the things you need to keep in mind with a deck like this is you see more copies of all of the cards that you're boarding in any game that's making it to the mid game than you would in a normal deck, because we're drawing so many cards. So like with 2 Chandras, we're going to see her a lot. I think like something like Wrath of God and Pyromancer, these cards make sense to play more copies of, because 1, I probably don't mind drawing multiples of them in the games where I'm boarding them in, and 2, it's really important to have them early. Whereas like Chandra's a card, like I don't need to play Chandra on 4, and in fact, in a lot of game states, it's not good to play her on 4, right? Like she's gonna be kind of awkward there. So, at any rate, my big takeaway from cycling in general is that cycling feels like it has legs in this format. This deck notably is playing 24 lands total, 8 of which cycle, so we're basically on a 16 land deck with these extra 1-mana cyclers that draw cards for us on occasion, or act as lands on occasion. So this archetype definitely feels competitive. I think I like Cast Out, Pyromancer, and Chandra over having Lurius. Cast Out has good utility, especially just being another good 1-mana cycler. So I think in this format, I would probably give up Lurius for these extra other tools. All right, at any rate, we're going to do one more historic deck today. We are going to build, Blue-Green Merfolk on stream. We had a donation for that. Before we do that, I am going to run to the restroom really quick. When I get back, we're going to swim with the fish. So we'll be back in just a minute.